Now that we have looked at what the cloud is and some advantages, let's learn what are the different types of cloud computing, deployment models, and services. There are a few types of cloud deployment models out there. The first one, and probably the most popular one, is the public cloud, where you have a cloud vendor that provides cloud services to multiple clients. All those clients securely share the same hardware in the back end. A private cloud, on the other hand, is when the hardware is only used by a single company, which most of the time, but not necessarily always, also owns the hardware and data center. This is very close to the traditional data center model we always had, but in a private cloud most of the time IT, which manages the data center, builds the different departments for the services that they do. Next up, we have a hybrid cloud, which is a combination of both a public and a private cloud with automation and orchestration between the two. And the last option is a community cloud, which is a shared infrastructure between several organizations with common security, compliance, and jurisdiction concerns. We often see the example of community cloud when governments from different countries set up a shared services division that hosts all of the IT for that government. Now that we have looked at the types of deployment models, there are also different types of computing services. The three main ones are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Let's take a look at what the differences are. What really differs between the deployment models is how much you manage versus how much the vendor manages. Let's start with on-premises, where it's pretty easy. You're the one that manages everything from storage to the data center to networking, virtualizations, and applications on top of it. Infrastructure as a service delivers cloud computing infrastructure to an organization, including things such as servers, networking, storage, true virtualization technology. You, as the client, still manage the operating systems, applications, data, and everything really on top of the virtualization layer. Platform as a service provides cloud components to certain software, while being mainly used for applications. Platform as a service provides a framework for developers that they can build upon and use to create customized applications. All servers, storage, and networking is managed by the third-party provider, while developers maintain the management of applications. Our last option is software as a service, in which you simply enjoy the service, pay a fee, but you don't manage anything at all. Everything is managed by the vendor. A majority of software as a service applications are run directly through the web browsers and do not require any downloads or installations on the client side. While this may seem a bit complicated to grasp at first, let's take a look at the same model, but from a different perspective. Let's compare our cloud computing services to everyone's favorite food, pizza. Our on-premises model would be similar to making pizza at home from scratch. You make your own dough, you cut your own toppings, you put it in your own oven, you pay for the electricity, and you eat at your own table. Our infrastructure as a service model is similar to getting frozen pizza from the supermarket and cooking it at home. You pay for part of the service, you pay for the basics, the pizza dough, the tomato sauce, toppings, cheese, but you still cook it yourself, you eat it at your own table, and if you decide that you like it a bit overcooked, you can still get it a bit overcooked. No problem. The platform as a service is similar to pizza delivery, where the pizza comes to you already made and hot. You simply need to pour the drinks, and then eat it at your own table. Finally, the software as a service is like dining out. You don't have to bring or make anything, everything is taken care of by the vendor, you simply pay the bill for what you consume. Hopefully, this comparison with pizza allows you to better view the differences between the different cloud computing service models. Let's take a look at some example cloud vendors and services in each category. For infrastructures as a service, some of the big players are Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, Google Compute Engine, and Rackspace. Of course, the one in orange, Microsoft Azure, is the one provided by Microsoft, since this is a Microsoft course, but I wanted you to have some third parties that you might have heard of to compare it with. In the platform as a service, some of the big players are, again, Azure, with different services like Azure Logic Apps, Azure Functions, and things like that. Heroku, Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, and many others. In the software as a service, we're looking at Office 365 by Microsoft, Google has their Google G Suite, Salesforce, and Dropbox are other examples of really big software as a service vendors. Of course, those are just a few of the most popular ones, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of cloud providers with the software as a service, one probably being the most popular one.